Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that the Pittsburgh Steelers are in a very interesting position. Coming into this season, there's been a lot of talk about whether they can finally shake off their reputation for being just mediocre, hovering around that 500 mark, and maybe, just maybe, make a serious push into the playoffs. The Steelers, with their rich history and a fan base that's as passionate as any in the league, have been hungry for that return to glory. And this offseason, they certainly made some moves that sent shockwaves through the division. They went all in, aggressively adding star players like Jalen Ramsey to bolster their secondary and bringing in Aaron Rodgers, who, despite his age, is a proven leader and playmaker. But as we all know, NFL seasons are a long grind. 2 weeks in, and the Steelers are sitting at a 1-1 record. Not terrible, but certainly not the start they envisioned. The team looks as average as ever, and that's a bit of a disappointment for fans who had high hopes. You see, the expectations are always high when you bring in star players, but football is unpredictable. The chemistry, injuries, and sheer execution on game day make all the difference. And let me tell you, things might be about to get even tougher for Pittsburgh. Because just recently, news broke that a key piece of their offensive line, Max Scharping, suffered a knee injury during practice. And not just a minor tweak, sources say it's potentially serious, and the initial fear is that it could be a significant injury. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, always on top of these stories, reported that Scharping would undergo an MRI to determine the severity of the injury. And unfortunately, the results confirmed the worst. It's a torn ACL, which means Max Scharping is out for the entire season. Just like that, a key depth player for the Steelers is gone, and that leaves a big question mark in the trenches. For a team that's trying to build consistency on offense, losing someone like Scharping, who's been an important part of their offensive line depth, could be a game changer. Fans on social media reacted swiftly to the brutal news. We saw tweets from fans and analysts alike expressing their concern and disappointment. One user pointed out that the Steelers' offensive line was actually one of the healthiest in the league just last week, with a health score of 92.6, which is impressive and suggests that the team was doing well in terms of injuries. Now, with Scharping out, they're expecting a drop of about 10-15 points in that health score, which could affect how well the offensive line performs moving forward. It's a tough pill to swallow, especially early in the season when every game counts. And it's not just the fans who are worried. The injury report for the Steelers will be closely watched in the coming days, as they'll need to shuffle things around on the offensive line. It's a tricky situation because the offensive line is the foundation for everything, protecting the quarterback, opening lanes for the running game, and maintaining overall offensive rhythm. Losing a player like Scharping, who provides crucial depth, puts a strain on the starters and tests the coaching staff's ability to adapt quickly. Now, let's talk a bit about the bigger picture here. The Steelers have always been known for their strong defense, underpinned by a relentless pass rush and a disciplined secondary. Their offensive side, however, has often been the question mark, especially when it comes to protecting the quarterback and establishing a consistent running game. With Aaron Rodgers now under center, the expectation was that the offense could take a step forward, but injuries like this threaten to derail that progress before it even fully begins. Rodgers, who's used to working with a solid offensive line from his days with the Packers, now faces a different challenge. The stability of his protection is crucial if the team wants to maximize his veteran leadership and passing ability. The offensive line has been one of the key focus areas for the Steelers this offseason, and now, with Scharping out, it's going to be interesting to see how Coach Mike Tomlin and his staff respond. They might need to look deeper into their roster, calling up players from the practice squad or making trades to fill that gap. But beyond just the injury, there's a sense of cautious optimism among Steelers fans. If there's one thing Pittsburgh has always been known for, it's resilience. The team has a rich history of overcoming adversity, whether it's a key injury or a tough stretch in the season. The coaching staff is experienced and has dealt with tricky situations before. Still, it's undeniable that losing a player like Sharping hurts, especially when the division is so competitive. The AFC North is stacked with talented teams like the Ravens, Bengals, and Browns, all of whom are looking to capitalize on any weakness. Looking at the division rivalries, this injury could give an edge to teams like Baltimore or Cincinnati, who are always looking for ways to exploit any cracks in Pittsburgh's armor. It's a reminder that every game counts, and the margin for error is razor-thin. The Steelers will need to rally together, adjust quickly, and keep their focus sharp if they want to stay in the hunt for a playoff spot, let alone a deep postseason run. Now, let's not forget the other side of the coin. The Steelers' defense remains a formidable force. Their secondary, with players like Patrick Peterson and Minkah Fitzpatrick, continues to be a strength. The addition of Jalen Ramsey, when healthy, was supposed to be a game-changer. Fans are optimistic that this defense can carry the team through tough times. But ultimately, football is a team sport, and the offense needs to perform at a high level to complement that defensive strength. Rodgers' leadership and experience are still assets, but he'll need his offensive line to step up. The loss of Sharping makes that task more challenging. The coaching staff will have to get creative, possibly shifting players around or trusting younger talents to step in. It's a test of depth, resilience, and strategic thinking. And if history has taught Steelers fans anything, it's that this team never gives up, never backs down, and always finds a way to fight back. That's what makes them so special, especially in tough times like these. In terms of statistical expectations, the Steelers were looking to improve offensively this season, especially with Rodgers orchestrating the attack. Their passing game was expected to be more dynamic, and the offensive line was a key part of that plan. With Sharping out, the team's offensive line grades are expected to dip, which could translate into more sacks allowed, less time for Rodgers to make decisions, and a potential drop in overall offensive efficiency. That's a big concern for Steelers fans who want to see their team competing at a high level week after week. But it's also important to remember that NFL seasons are long, and injuries are part of the game. What matters is how the team responds. The Steelers have a young, talented core on offense, including receivers who can make plays and a running game that, when functioning well, can keep defenses honest. The coaching staff's ability to adapt and get the best out of their players will be crucial in the coming weeks. And now, more than ever, the leadership of players like Rodgers will shine. His experience in tough spots will be critical in guiding this team through adversity. The Steelers have always prided themselves on their grit and resilience, and this injury, while a setback, could serve as motivation for the entire roster to step up. Every player will need to elevate their game, and the coaching staff will have to be innovative in their schemes. It's all about overcoming obstacles and turning setbacks into comebacks. As we look ahead, the Steelers face a challenging road. They'll need to rally in practice, adjust their game plans, and stay healthy. Injuries like this test the depth and the character of a team. But if history is any guide, Pittsburgh has all the ingredients to bounce back stronger. The fans, the city, and the team itself have a tradition of fighting through tough times and emerging victorious. It's that spirit that keeps Steelers Nation so passionate and so hopeful. In the bigger picture, this season is shaping up to be one of those defining moments. Will the Steelers be able to weather the storm and come out on top? Will they find new ways to succeed despite setbacks? Or will rival teams in the AFC North take advantage of these vulnerabilities? These are questions that only time will answer. But one thing is clear, Pittsburgh is never out of the fight, and they will do everything in their power to keep their playoff hopes alive. So, as fans, we've got to stay optimistic, stay supportive, and trust that the coaching staff and players will do their best to adapt and overcome. Remember, the NFL season is a marathon, not a sprint, and injuries are just part of the journey. The Steelers have faced adversity before, and they've always found a way to come back stronger. That's the Pittsburgh way. And with players like Rodgers leading the charge, there's still plenty of hope for a memorable season ahead. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news.